worth living is so worth dying for. So come with me. I can make you feel alive. If you're hearing this, you're in paradise.
school is a place for fools. It's hot in hell, but the devil's cool. Don't keep Satan waiting. Don't keep Satan waiting. So don't just sit there, join the club. Sell your soul to Beelzebub.
Hey, everybody, it's I, your favorite satanic streamer, Count Jackula, and letting you know that the time to sin is now. Let sin begin. How is everything? How is everyone? I see Giovanni is with us, Kat is with us, George is with us, as always. Always good to see you, George. Kira is with us, and so is Winter. And it looks like Cat Hermit saw Stop Motion, which is an amazing movie. I agree. It's fantastic. I love, especially love the ending. You know, I won't spoil it for those of you who haven't seen it, but I really like the ending. Hey, Chrome Bison, how you doing? Hope you're all doing good today. We gotta set up a new goal. Gotta set up a new goal. Is a new month. You know, hopefully we'll get it. Hopefully we'll get it this month. Oh, hopefully we'll get it this month. Don't need quite as much this month, but I do need a little since last month's goal we did not meet last month's goal. And there was, man, there was a lot going on. I'm not gonna lie. So we're going to keep it going. Let's see. $30 days have September, April, June, and November. Whoops. Oh. There we go. That's not it. There we go. There we go. The goal for the next 25 to the end of June is $400. Hopefully we will be able to get that. Watch Kill Bill 2 and it broke you in an emotional way, but Kill Bill is an amazing movie. You know, I still haven't seen First Omen, so I don't know what connections it has, if any, although I assume there are quite a bit. If for fan service, if nothing else. Good boy. You're crocheting some stuff for Pride in NYC, says Winter Hacks. Excellent. Excellent. Happy Pride Month to everybody. You know, I always feel odd. It's weird. Like I have no problem mentioning Pride Month, but I keep forgetting that it happens in June for some reason. I think I just get so caught up in my own shit that I don't. Even though I really should start going again. You know, it's been a few years since I've been to it, since I actually attended Pride, so I should probably do that again. Man, what a weird time that we live in. I'm watching first the bad news. Like we all know that we're watching this kind of weird like descent into fascism, which I hate. And hey, cute little cat girl, how you doing? Yeah, we're watching America like slowly descend into the world actually slowly descend into fascism. No one really understands what to do. Hey, George, thanks for the $20. It's Hail Satan for George. Satan, I love you very much. Hail Satan. Hail Satan, George version. Hail Satan.
I hope you suffocate.
Oh man, that is great. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Let's see. Super chats. Do they YouTube subscriber goal? Super chat goal. Oh, there is a separate super chat goal. Mm. All right, let's get that up there. Close this one. Copy that shit. Yeah. Wait, we got 3 of these fuckers up here. How did that happen? Bonk. All right. 5%. We're up 5%. Oh. Come on. Remove. There we go. Yeah, all right. There we go. All right. See you later, George. I'm sorry you gotta. Yeah, jump back into the pit when you get a chance. That'd be great. Hung up your new tub baskets and fixed my glasses myself. Excellent. Excellent. Yeah, Frank Zappa saw it coming. He saw it coming a mile away, and it wasn't hard to see. It wasn't hard to see. It was just hard to stop. It's like it was almost inevitable. But I make no bones about the facts that I hate fascism and I can do without it. Hey, GL Knight, how you doing? Hoping you're good. George Version just donated $20 if you want to help feel the love as well. You can put $20 in. I'm even going to open the video chat line for $20. I'll give George his moment when he has a moment. I know he's working tonight, so he might have to wait a bit. But if anyone else wants to dab in, we can do that. That's not a problem. That is easy. We are all set up for it today. All you need is a way for me to send you a Zoom link and a $20 donation. Let's see. Let me put George Version down here so he can claim that whether he wants, if he wants. Excellent. GL says he's doing good. Started a new 1920s paranormal detective story where he beats a demon with a bat wrapped in blessed cloth to save a cherub. Cool. That is cool. I hope you find publishing someday, GL. Yeah, no, glasses got tiny screws. That's why I've got like a special pair of like magnifying goggles when I do like really detailed work. Hey, Flashman, what's up? Up to the new month here, everybody. Got a new monthly goal. This one's a little lower than last month, but we've already got $20 from George. And as I said before, I'm opening up the video chat again for $20. I'll bring you in for like half hour, maybe an hour, depending on how things go. And but I guarantee at least 30 minutes. Making some headway into some publishers. Excellent. Good. That is excellent. Whoop. Was a little. I've been sexying up Babylon because I think it needs it. Oh, X-Men 97 is really great. It's really good. Yeah, I've been sexying it up Babylon because I think that kind of fell to the wayside. So just trying to like perk it up a bit. I'm thinking I'm gonna probably go a bit harder with it because I'm realizing that my real problem is not conservatives. My real problem is not prudes. My real problem is not, feminists. It's Fortnite. My big problem is Fortnite. And one of my examples needs to be Baldur's Gate 3. I need to be able to communicate that it is a horny setting. I need to communicate that it is a horny setting and that's what you're gonna get, and that's what we're gonna deliver. Hey Jack, what's the name of the song in the background? It sounds good. There is No Love in LA by Palais Royale. That's Palae Royale. Yeah, the world needs more horny, I think. It needs more lewd. It's something I can guarantee that the game is. And that's going to be important. And I don't see any reason to there is no good artistic or marketing reason why I shouldn't do that. Especially when the horniness is so queer friendly. Ah, Thorgrim. Hey, how you doing? I donate $20. Ah, excellent. Let's get Hail Satan for Thorgrim. Hail Satan, Thorgrim. Do you want the do you want to hop in on the video chat, or just say it in the half hours yours. Yeah, every RPG needs some horny in it. Yeah, this is going to have a lot because it is really about subculture in the 90s. Even though we don't say that, like it's really about subculture in the 90s and how sexuality worked in that situation, and how I think it is a much healthier way of seeing things. Yeah. Just shoot me a message on Discord when you're ready. Hey, Dag, did you hear Trump has finally been convicted? I did. He's going to be sentenced on June 11th. Oh, that was faster than I realized. I thought they were going to, I thought that was not going to be happening for a couple of months. All right, sentencing on June 11th. All right, well, we'll see what happens. That's going to be the real shit. Is he going to do any jail time? Probably not. I don't expect he's going to do jail time. Unless there is some sort of minimum sentencing in effect, which I don't think there is. But I'm not a legal expert. There could be. There could be. I wonder if Legal Eagle's got anything to say about that. He's usually pretty good about this stuff. Let's see. Legal Eagle, Trump sentencing. All right.
You know what really grinds my gears? When the media says so-and-so faces up to 11 billion years in prison. And while that's theoretically possible, it's never right. And here, Trump faces real jail time for what he's accused of. How much exactly? Well, luckily, Scowl knows exactly how much jail time Trump would get if he's convicted.
Thanks, Devin. It wasn't until this moment that I actually started suspecting that I died and went to hell. Doing a deep dive into the federal sentencing guidelines for Donald Trump's case, I think Dante mentioned that as happening somewhere on the lower levels. Federal sentencing. A rational, predictable, and fair process that would be impossible to thwart by a narcissistic man-child who runs a major political party as a cult of personality. Unless you've been living under a rock, you've heard that Donald Trump was indicted in the Southern District of Florida for 36 counts relating to the willful retention of classified documents, as well as a scheme to obstruct the investigation into that retention. We've done at least one video on this channel. But here's the Cliff's Notes of what's alleged. When he left office on January 20th, 2021, Donald Trump caused a bunch of boxes filled with classified national
okay, it's a classified documents case.
To his Mar-a-Lago club in Palm Beach, Florida. According to the indictment, Trump had the boxes stored in unsecured locations.
I was kind of hoping it would be about
possibly including Kid Rock, not joking. Beginning in May 2021,
I was hoping it would involve the thing he was convicted of, but apparently not.
Repeatedly demanded that Trump turn over certain records that he had kept after his presidency. Trump didn't comply. So ultimately, on March 30th, 2022, the FBI opened a criminal investigation into the unlawful retention of classified documents at Mar-a-Lago. And on May 11th of 2022, a federal grand jury issued a subpoena to Trump requiring the production of all documents with classification markings. Trump caused some documents to be produced on June 3rd, 2022, along with a certification from one of his attorneys, Trump attorney number 3, according to the indictment, that all documents had been produced. Well, as it turns out, that certification was
Yes, Trump finally won
false.
A popular vote.
The FBI
12
got its
citizens
hands
of
on
New York
surveillance
unanimously
footage
found
showing
former President
Trump.
Donald Trump guilty of all 34 felony
All right,
counts.
here we go.
He reacted about
This
as
is
you would
about
expect.
the recent
This
one.
was a rigged trial by a conflicted judge who was corrupt.
It's really unfortunate that Trump has been a victim of a rigged election, rigged impeachment, rigged federal judicial system, rigged state civil judicial system, and now a rigged state criminal judicial system as well.
Remember, folks, it's a rigged system.
Yeah, cry more, Donnie. Chaos lawyer and reluctant Trump whisperer Liz Dye has the details.
Thanks, Devin. Well, it finally happened. For the first time in our nation's history, an American president was found guilty of a felony in a court of law. Although if you ask the future felon himself, that was inevitable.
Mother Teresa could not beat these charges.
Well, yes, if Mother Teresa had gotten her fixer to pay a porn star to keep quiet in the run-up to an election, then covered up the payment through a series of false invoices and checks, she too would probably have been found guilty of 34 felonies. But if Mother Teresa ever did do any of that, she managed to keep it on the down low. Trump, however, is not a keeping it on the down low kind of guy. At the celebrity golf tournament in 2006, where the encounter allegedly took place, he managed to get his picture taken with Stormy Daniels, the adult film actress who had been sent there to represent her production company, Wicked Pictures. And he reportedly boasted about their brief sexual encounter the next day. But 10 years later, when he decided to run for president, he was decidedly more circumspect. Trump, whose notorious philandering had been a subject of the New York tabloids for decades, suddenly had to sell himself to evangelicals as a faithful family man who just so happened to have 5 children by 3 wives, and to have appeared in a pornographic video, and to have bragged about wandering into the changing room while beauty pageant contestants were getting dressed. And so, he enlisted his longtime friend David Pecker, the owner of the National Enquirer, to burnish his image. Pecker, who was the first witness at the trial, testified that just days after Trump announced his candidacy, he was summoned to a meeting at Trump Tower where Pecker promised to help Trump's campaign by publishing positive stories about Trump, negative stories about his opponents, and alerting him through Michael Cohen when Pecker came across damaging information, particularly regarding women. Pecker brought up 2 stories, including one from Playboy model Karen McDougal, who was paid $150,000 for her account of a relationship with Trump a decade earlier. Pecker testified that he'd buried stories for other celebrities before and even for politicians, but his lawyers convinced him that selling McDougal's story to Trump might look like a campaign finance violation, so he refused to go through with it. Then, Stormy Daniels came forward, and Pecker testified that he refused to pay her out of fear that the association with an adult film star would upset Walmart, the National Enquirer's biggest distributor. And even after Cohen threatened that the boss would be furious if he didn't do the deal, Pecker wouldn't budge. So Cohen negotiated to pay Daniels $130,000 to sign a non-disclosure agreement, aka an NDA. Except that Trump kept putting the deal off in hopes that he could delay until after the election and avoid paying her altogether. Then on October 7th, 2016, the Access Hollywood tape dropped, with Trump bragging about grabbing women by the genitals because...
And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything.
Trump's aide Hope Hicks testified that the tape...
Okay, this is all stuff we know. Let's just get on with it. Let us get on with it. We have our guest here, guest at the moment, Thorgrim. How you doing, Thorgrim?
Not too bad, really.
Excellent. That's good to hear. How is every little thing?
Trying some new things. Started taking guitar lessons again, like for the first time since like I was a teenager.
Yeah.
I could tighten some things up.
Well, how's it going?
So far, so good. Like I'm learning all the scales. I'm learning everything from like Dorian to like Ionian and all that kind of stuff.
Excellent. I know very little about reading music, so I have no idea what that is.
The most I can do is tablature, which is basically like, here's the notes, here's what number you press on the neck of the thing.
Oh, I don't even know that. So
Fair enough.
you're ahead of me on that one.
Fair enough.
So how's life been? How's it been going?
Not too bad. So dovetailing off that the guitar teacher thing, apparently he also is a trained voice actor and can teach me that too. So I'm gonna see if he can teach me some of that as well.
Oh yeah. Self improvement is always good, you know.
Oh yeah.
Man.
Like apparently he voiced Chris Redfield in Dead by Daylight.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, let's see. Chris Redfield, voice
Specifically in Dead by
actor,
Daylight.
Dead by Daylight. So it's Gerard Vachin.
That's the guy.
Oh, nice. Nice. You know, damn, that's cool. That
Yeah.
is cool. You know, how is the guy?
Really nice guy. Like, as far as I can tell, super nice guy.
Man, it so he's like a voice actor who like also is like a music instructor.
Yeah, and he also plays in bands and stuff as well.
Right. Oh God, everything we do is a gig now, isn't it?
Yep.
You know.
Yep. Get as many things you can do as possible.
Yeah, it's rough. I can do a lot of things, but I'm like kind of hyper obsessive. I focus in on one thing generally focus on one thing at a time.
See, I got the opposite problem. Like, my thing is, like, I'll bounce back and forth to a bunch of different things because, like, you know how people have rotating hyperfixations?
Yeah, totally.
I have spiraling hyperfixations.
Oh, geez.
They just keep going, and, like, they dovetail off of one another.
Oh,
and, like,
geez.
And I go, like, ooh, I like this thing. But what if I started doing this, and then that, but then this, but now this looks interesting, and I'm like, it's like going to the buffet and like getting everything off the menu.
Oh, gee, yeah.
And then never finishing any of it.
Yeah. I've actually been having an easier time finishing things these days. I think.
Good.
I think Babylon might be a really good direction. That's why I'm hoping it succeeds. So it's something I can keep doing for a while. You know.
Oh yeah.
You know, make some living off of it. But that's but we'll have to see, because I'm doing working on the Kickstarter right now, and oh man, I don't know what it is, but getting back into any sort of like video making or pitching or anything like that. Probably just because I haven't done it in like 4 or 5 years. Kinda, it's intimidating.
You get that feeling of I got to shake the rust off, basically, a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair.
You know, I also have to like figure out what I need, and that's a big deal. Like, it's hard to trust only yourself. And that's where I'm at, and that is hard. That's really hard for me. You know, it just is. How about yourself?
That's fair. Oh, I'm sorry. What'd you say?
How about yourself?
So funny you mention again tabletop. I'm also trying to run my first like D&D one shot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. That's always fun, you know.
Yeah. Using 5e rolls, but my own homebrew setting.
Excellent. What's the setting?
Well, as soon as I tell you, you're probably gonna be like, yeah, that's Stargrim, all right. So it's
Go for it.
All right. Best way I can describe it. Culturally, Bronze Age.
Mm-hmm.
Technologically, somewhere between there and like retro-futuristic, depending on where I'm at. So you obviously have swords and axes and spears and stuff, but you'll also have like airships at points and like guns and maybe lasers.
Oh, okay. So is it like every area has like their own technological level kind of thing?
I'm still working that out. What I'm thinking I'm probably gonna do is like first one, like I'm not gonna include too much of the high tech stuff. I'm gonna introduce the high tech stuff once I can get a Spelljammer book for reference.
Oh, yeah. Like that shouldn't be hard. They're not that expensive, actually. You know,
Yeah.
I think the whole set's only like $50.
Okay.
You
all
know,
right, yeah.
Hey, Jasons, how you doing? We're talking with Thorgrim at the moment. You know, he's telling us about his D&D campaign.
And the third element, ecologically prehistoric.
Okay, so they're like dinosaurs and shit.
Oh hell yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay,
to
dinosaurs
sum
are
up-
fun, you know?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So to sum up, barbarians, airships, dinosaurs. So I'm doing a little bit of a Thongor of Lemuria kind of thing, almost a little bit.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, so yeah, a little bit of that Thundar the Barbarian.
Yeah, there's a bit of that
kind
in
of
there.
stuff, you know.
Sorcery and super science.
Super science. Oh my God, it's the Statue of Liberty. No, you know,
Shooting
like,
lasers out of the torch.
yeah. Okay, no, that sounds cool.
Bum, 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 bap, 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 bap. Yeah.
Yeah, Ukla the Mock, who does nothing. Yeah, he does that, and that's it. You know, like,
Well, he also smashes stuff,
right.
which is kind of what you'd hope for, because he's basically just Chewbacca. Let's be real, he's Chewbacca.
Yeah, although I think he existed before Chewbacca. Let's see, when did Thundar the Barbarian happen?
I want to say it was early 80s.
Barbarian. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Thundar the Oh, no, you're right. You're right. It was the 80s. Thundar was the 80s.
Because I was going to say, I checked that a while back myself, because I was curious.
Yeah. No, it was Space Ghost and the Herculoids that were the 60s. Thundar the Barbarian was the 80s.
That's an easy enough mistake to make, because, I mean, like, it's a Hanna-Barbera show, and they kind of blend together at points.
Yeah.
They were very much a if it ain't broke, don't fix it kind of company.
Yes. Oh, my God.
I'm also planning on throwing lots of stupid humor in there, too.
Excellent.
Like, I'll give you a couple examples. Number one, the city one of the cities in this thing, I'm calling Byzantium. Like, we're dealing with that level of stupid humor, and I'm also gonna have like weird cockatoo raptors at some point, probably. I'm calling them cock-a-raptors because, of course, I am.
Right. Yeah. Oh my God.
So we're dealing with that level of stupid, and if at some point, like, I can, like, maybe animate, I might try and animate some, like, weird little things.
Yeah.
Try and do, like, little animated videos for YouTube or something based off this stuff, maybe. I don't know.
Nice.
We'll give it a shot.
Yeah. I would give it a shot. Like, no, Thundar was apparently 1980 to 81.
Yeah.
I did not know that. I would have thought it was like the 60s or 70s too, you know.
Oh, yeah.
But apparently not, you know.
Yep. Which, I mean, given the context, it does kind of make sense. I mean, post-apocalyptic barbarian thing, that seems like a very early 80s thing.
Yeah. Well, it's probably also got like a bit of like another one that looks like it's from like a previous time, but it was the 80s, was Filmation's Adventures of Flash Gordon. Like, that was 79 to like 82.
And that's another one. Filmation, I feel like, occupies a similar space to Hanna-Barbera.
It does. It had its own, they each had their own style, and I gotta admit, I kind of preferred Filmation's style.
That's fair.
You know, the animation wasn't as good, but the art was way better.
Yeah. I feel like I think to your point, Filmation was also like a lot more interesting with their concepts.
They're a bit more adult. Like, they're a bit more like teenage and less like little kid.
Yeah.
You know, and that like you would see a lot of cleavage in like a Flash Gordon or a He-Man or a She-Ra.
Or She-Ra or whatever.
You know, like
That's true.
a lot more bodies. You know.
Yeah. A lot of really fit people, really fit, pretty cartoon.
Yeah. People. Yeah. Oh, someone brought up Defenders of the Earth. Yeah. I remember that.
I don't remember that.
Defenders of the Earth.
Okay, now I'm curious.
Oh yeah. I don't know. Yeah, come on. Here we go.
Okay, I gotta see this. Shaking the feed. I wasn't sure. Were you
yeah. It's like Flash Gordon, Phantom from the comic strip, Mandrake the Magician.
Oh, now I remember that. Okay.
Yeah. You know, they were the Defenders of the Earth. You know.
Like, look, we got Super Friends at home.
Yeah, and that's right. The fourth one was Lothar. And they had, like, teenage sidekicks, obviously.
Well, yeah, you know.
Which I gotta be honest, I never really cared about that part of any of these shows.
Well, who did?
I don't think anyone did. I really don't.
The main thing was it was a style at the time.
Yeah, it was the style at the time, but it didn't quite
catch on.
Didn't quite work. It's like, yeah, maybe it should, but it doesn't. Also, like, where did Mandrake the Magician come from?
I mean, based on all those other ones, I wouldn't be surprised if it's like a Gold Key comic or something.
Yeah, probably was. It was King Features. Oh, okay.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Like the other three, they're all like newspaper comic characters.
Yeah.
So yeah, Mandrake was one of. Oh, Lothar was actually like Mandrake's like assistant. That's right. So he also comes from fucking Mandrake the Magician.
So it was Lothar basically like the
He's like Wong.
Oh, okay.
But he doesn't have like superpowers. Oh, I mean, he has superpowers, but he's not like a magician. You know,
or like the Kato to his Green Lantern, basically.
Yeah, that's probably a better example. That's probably a better like comparison.
Where he's like the muscle, basically.
Yep. Oh my God! Holy shit! Mandrake the Magician ran until 1999.
Wow.
What the fuck?
Well, then again, like, you know, the Phantom ran into the 90s. I mean, we had that Billy Zane movie.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, holy
just the comic itself?
shit! Yeah, the comic itself, the newspaper strip itself ran until 99.
Wait, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I think the Phantom did too.
Yeah.
Or at least somewhat in the 90s, because I remember actually, again, you've unlocked a core memory in my head. I used to see Phantom comics in the old newspapers.
Yeah, I think I think the Phantom still runs, actually. Damn. Let's see. Lee Falk, what all did he create? Yeah, he did the Phantom, Mandrake. He didn't do Flash Gordon. So
I was about to say, like, is this just all his shit?
Yeah. That's what I was wondering all of a sudden too. Let's see, Flash Gordon creator, like who created Flash Gordon? Alex Raymond, back in sometime.
Probably in
56. 50. Wait, no, not 56. Hold on. Holy shit. Flash Gordon. When was that? Created in 1934.
Yeah, it sounds right.
Yeah. Good Lord.
Considering, like, the old movie serials go back about that far anyway.
Yeah, they still publish Phantom comics in Europe. Yeah, it's apparently still running here, too.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like finding out everything the Zorro... Yeah. But no. He of the Defenders of the Earth, he only did Mandrake and the Phantom.
Okay, well, so he did
the
like
other Flash
2/3 of
Gordon
them,
is like the odd guy out there.
Yeah, I was gonna say like he basically just did like 3/4 of the team.
Yeah, and for some reason Flash Gordon's there too. Like, okay,
I don't know.
I
it's cool.
guess it's just because they still had the rights to it.
I'm sure like you wanted like a nice even four-man team or something.
Yeah.
Plus, I don't know, maybe the movie was still like this was recently after the movie, so like maybe that was like part of it too.
No, Defenders of the Earth was like well before the fucking Phantom movie.
No, the Flash Gordon movie.
What about the Flash Gordon movie?
Like maybe that's part of why they had Flash Gordon on the team.
No, it was way after the Flash Gordon movie.
Oh, okay. So that
long
hype any
after
hype that
that
would have come from that would have died down.
It was long dead.
Okay.
You know, it was long over. Like people
it was
still
way
remember Flash Gordon in that flick, but like it wasn't like, oh, we got to make a cartoon. The movie just came out. You know.
Yeah, it's like well after that, but still well before like nostalgia kicked in and people were like, you know what, Flash Gordon.
Well, yeah, because like the Flash Gordon movie was the nostalgia kick in.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I mean, now there's a double one thanks to Ted.
To Ted?
Yeah, I feel like there was a little bit of like a, you know what, Flash Gordon when Ted came out.
And Ted came out. Oh, the talking teddy bear movie?
Yeah, because they have like a whole bit about like Flash Gordon in there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like Sam Jones himself appears in the movie.
Oh, ha!
And they all do coke and they get into fights and shit.
Yeah, because it's Ted. Okay.
Yes, exactly.
Got it. Yeah. Defenders of the Earth was like 7 years after Flash Gordon.
Okay, so yeah, that's well past that and well before any sort of nostalgia for that particular movie.
For that particular thing, yeah, exactly. Like, to be honest, I think like Buck Rogers was technically more recent at that point.
I think you might be right now that
you
mentioned it. Which also a remake at that point.
Yeah, that was also fucking a big nostalgia thing.
It was weird that Flash Gordon got a movie and Buck Rogers got a TV show.
Not really. Like it all kind of made sense. The pilot was essentially a movie.
Okay, yeah.
You know, it was a made for television movie, but it was essentially a movie.
Okay.
I still would kind of be into like. I still kind of would be up for a modern redo of Buck Rogers, you know, or Flash Gordon for that matter. Like I could do with either. But like every time they try to do it, they don't understand what that motherfucking thing is, and
it needs to be cheesy.
It needs to be cheesy, and it needs to be very sexual. It needs to be very sexy. Yes. Otherwise, it doesn't work, because at that point, all you've got is space and robots.
Yeah, and think about how many other things has space and robots.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you could redo Lensman, you know. You could do a Lensman show, but that would be really... How to put it? I think the problem that you would have with Lensman is that the modern incarnation of Lensman already exists, and that's Power Rangers.
Wait. Idea.
Yeah.
Lensman series that is basically a very adult version of Power Rangers.
Power Rangers? Well, it would have to be, because there's nothing else to do from Lensman that Power Rangers didn't already do. The entire format of Lensman's stories is what Power Rangers has used since the beginning.
Okay.
You know, like hell, it even goes back to like Super Sentai.
Well,
You know, the show
okay.
that it was like created from.
Right.
Yeah, Lensman's a little bit more. Yeah, it's a little bit more Green Lantern, but then you still got that same problem, which is, well, we've got Green Lantern.
Yeah.
And it's even more Lensman now that there are different types of lanterns. You know? Barbarella, on the other hand, you could totally bring back. You could
I
totally
think they're planning on doing
yeah,
that.
they are. They are. Edgar Wright and was it Susie Swanson?
Not sure.
The lead in Immaculate.
Oh, okay.
The lead of Immaculate, who is come on, brain. Sydney Sweeney.
Okay.
Sydney Sweeney and Edgar Wright wanted remake Barbarella.
Yeah, okay. I think
Yeah,
that'd
yeah.
be
No,
good.
I was like, I don't know if you should remake Barbarella, man. That it was like, well, Edgar Wright and Sydney Sweeney want to do it. And I'm like, okay, actually, this has a shot now.
You might
Now
have
this has
something there.
yeah, you might have something there because you need two things to really make Barbarella work. Someone who is really into nerdy sci-fi
Mm-hmm.
and an actress who is not afraid of doing nudity.
Yep.
You know, and so it's like, oh, well, okay, Sydney Sweeney's proven that she's okay with nudity, and Edgar Wright, and Edgar fucking Wright.
He's a giant nerd.
Yeah, he is a giant nerd who is also funny. You know, who is also
That's another
funny
element.
and funny in the right way.
Yeah.
He's really good at that. I think another guy who might have been able to do it would have been Joe Cornish. The guy who did Attack the Block.
Oh, okay.
You know, he might, but that to me is not as certain a thing as Edgar Wright.
You're right.
Yeah, I agree. It's the right duo, so we'll see what if they get to make it, and we'll see what they do. You know, I still am constantly confused by the alt-right's obsession with Sydney Sweeney. I get it, but it also makes no sense.
Okay, now here's something I'm not familiar with. Can you explain this to
Oh,
me?
yeah. For some reason, conservative dudes on YouTube took Sydney Sweeney as like their own. And I'm like, what? And not like, this is the girl we all jerk off to, because I got no judgment on that. But they were like, no, she's one of us. And I'm like, how did you come to that fucking conclusion? And honestly, because there's no connective tissue. There's no connective tissue. There's nothing that would lead you to believe that Sydney Sweeney would be pro-Trump at all. Like, nothing. The only way you can make it work is if you're like, okay, well, liberals are anti-sex in movies. She's okay with nudity. Therefore, she's one of us. That's the only way. That's the only gymnastic that I can see as having made them come up with that answer. You know,
So at
she
this
looks
point-
like a trad wife. No, she doesn't. You know, she's just blonde. You know,
Maybe that's all they wanted.
maybe, but like
Look, popular blonde woman, quick, we have to grab onto her and take her into the fold so we can something, I don't know.
yeah, she has big breasts and she likes so she killed woke films. Yeah, that was weird because I'm like, no, like, big boobs has never meant conservative woman.
Yeah.
It is never symbolized that ever. It has
Noah
always
has liking
symbolized. It has always symbolized a threat to the conservative male. So I'm like, wow, you guys are like, I don't even know.
Also, I think you've given me a good album or song title. These tits are a threat.
These tits are a threat. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's probably that'd probably be better coming out of a woman.
Well, yeah,
But,
okay.
you
So
know,
I'm gonna have to find someone to collaborate with and pitch that to them. It's like, how about this for a song? These tits are a threat.
These
And
tits are a
if
threat.
that
Yeah.
lady goes, you've got something, then I know, all right, this is gonna work.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's like, what's weird, it's like conservative guys think they're the only ones that like tits, and that's just not the case.
Yes, especially given the two people on screen right now.
Yeah,
You
definitely.
and I are very much of the same mind in this regard.
Yeah. Like, okay, big tits are great. What are you talking about? You could also call it bombshell. Well, that's true. I mean, like, so here's what I mean. If you're attracted to her, I get it. But I don't get is, oh, I have to assume all of her politics? Wait, what?
No, because that means I can't be attracted to her if that something, I don't know.
It must be. It must be some sort of weird purity thing. See, big boobed, Aryan looking woman. That's why the right wing chuds are gravitating towards her. Yeah, it could.
I think you and I are overthinking this.
Yeah. I think Cat Hermit's right.
It's just the stupid answer.
Yeah. Oh, she's white. She has blonde hair, blue eyes, big tits. Like, that's it. And I'm like, motherfucker. Like, not even Diane Thorne was fucking like a Republican.
And she played an SS.
And she was like, yeah. She's the Nazi fucking prison warden sex archetype,
Granted, she was also the tigress of the gulag.
Yeah. Well, but I mean, like, let's be real. Let's be real. That's just the third fucking Ilsa movie.
Also, the harem keeper of the oil sheiks and
yada
yada.
But I'm like, she's not a conservative. Neither is fucking Sybil Danning. Like, they're not conservatives, man. Like, that's not their thing.
Side note,
Sybil
when you're
really
nice lady.
Yeah, when you display open sexuality, and I mean, like, open, not trying to hide it, and you're not being like, trailer trash about it, that doesn't say conservative. That's as liberal at best as far as being right wing. I
mean, like, circling back to Barbarella, Jane Fonda,
another great example.
Jane fucking Fonda.
Yeah, it's like, just because she married fucking dude boy, doesn't mean she fucking did that bullshit fucking press tour of fucking Vietnam, which was weird.
Yeah, Hanoi Jane, yeah.
Mm-hmm. That doesn't strike me as Republican.
Yeah, not really, no.
Yeah, sexually progressive don't tend to be conservatives. They don't tend to. Which is why I thought, but what's really fucking funny to me is that there's hoe in everybody.
Yeah.
There's hoe in everyone. Whatever, but yeah. The whole Sydney Sweeney conservative chud thing.
You and I, look,
weird.
We're showing off our delicious guns.
Oh yeah.
Give him a flex for the ladies.
Yeah. To the delight of all my lady friends. Oh man.
Directions Gainsborough.
No. You also won't suck your dick, conservatives. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's a good way of putting it. Yeah, she got arrested. Yeah, Jane Fonda got arrested at Black Civil Rights protest. Yeah. It's also strange.
Yeah.
You know?
Also, granted, I think that last bit was just basically me coming up with an excuse to like basically feel good about myself for working out more.
Yeah.
Because
Oh,
I've been looking at my arms like that's not bad. So I just wanted an excuse to just go.
Right. Okay. All right. So, well, that's the half hour, man. It was good seeing
that's
you.
a good place to wrap.
Yeah, it's a good place to wrap it up. All right. I'll talk to you later, dude. You take care.
You too. Catch you later, man.
Catch you later. By the way, George, when you got like a half hour, we opened up the $20 donation video chat thing again. So since you already gave $20, like you got a slot if you want it. Yeah, you're all cool, but you guys aren't Vladislava Galigan. Oh wait, hold on. I'm gonna look that up. Oh, geez. Yeah, that's yeah, that's extra levels of working out. Holy shit. Let's see if we can get a decent, get a decent picture up here. Do. Da 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 da. All right, here we go. Got a picture right here. Come on. All right. Yeah, that's her. Her and her trainer. You be able to join on Wednesday or Thursday? Okay, cool. Cool. Yeah, we'll put you in for Wednesday then. So I should be streaming then. But yeah, that's who GL's talking about. Vladislav Vladislava Galigan. Like I said, that's extra. I mean, she got that like fucking Boris Vallejo, Julie Bell physique, All right, Knitting Samurai, you take care. Sweet, you'll be there. Excellent. But yeah, there's a lot of what? Well, let's see. Wait. Where is dudes? We got George versions. Where's Huh. Okay. Well, let's fix this goal since it didn't update automatically because of course it didn't. Of course it didn't, because that would be too fucking simple. Manage goal. Why can't I edit it? All right, there we go. There we go. We're now at 10%. 10%. There we go. Let's see. Do you know one of the things that makes me go, what the hell, Jack, is young pictures of Alex Jones. Oh, yeah. I know, right? Like, let me show you what he's talking about. Yeah, let's find a good example. Yeah. There we go. Yeah. Like, no joke, this is Alex Jones when he was, like, younger. Like, sure, he was way younger, but, like, that's him. That was him. I don't know what takes you from that to this. I don't know what the fuck happened. I've noticed that, like, this is a problem. It's a problem that a lot of fit guys who are really fit when they're young, tend to have. They seem to, for some reason, gain a lot of weight when they get older. I don't know why. You know, it's got to be, it has to be hormonal. You know, it has to be hormonal. You know, and it's why I tend to take it easy on people who have weight problems, because I think they get enough shit. They get shit that they don't need. And it's not about willpower. It isn't. You know, it really isn't. Losing weight really isn't about willpower. It's about your body. It's half your body and half habit. And what I mean by that is, if you change your habits, you will lose weight, but you're not necessarily going to not be heavy. You know, and it's so half of it's habits. Like, you have to change the way that you live and eat, and it is everything. It's everything about the way you live has to change. That's beyond hard. That's beyond difficult. It's possible, but it's already hard. That's the willpower. But the rest of it is just your body. It's just the way it deals with calories. Yeah, some people are just naturally thin. Some people are just naturally heavy, no matter what they do. You know? Yeah, Alex Jones starts sniffing them chemtrails. He start putting on weight because the fat virus is in there or something. I don't know. I'm just trying to come up with some Alex Jones bullshit. You know? But I don't like to get down on people for their weight. Although I gotta admit, even I have, like, I do have that point where I'm like, whoa, you gotta do something. You know, like that. Yeah. You know, you're scaring me, you know. I know the human body would do that. So when people are like, I'm going to get gastric bypass surgery, it's like, whatever you got to do, man. Roids, Jack, roids. Oh, you know what? Dude? I think you might be onto something. I think you might be right. Yeah. Older guys like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone look good for their age, but like they never stopped. Like they never stopped working out. They just kept going. Like they love doing it. Like that's their thing that they love doing. They like that more than acting. Yeah. You're like, yeah, you're still like over 200 pounds. Yeah. Oh, 300. Yeah. You still have 300 pounds. Like, your body's working against you. Yeah, you'll always be better. You'll always be better off, but like you're never gonna have that like cut. You're not gonna have that cut like steel body without like medical and chemical assistance. It's just not gonna happen. You know. I'm of the opinion that everyone's kind of got this weight that they're just gonna kind of be at, um, without some form of outside intervention. It is just the way it is. There are very, very, very few, in my opinion, there are very few lazy people. They do exist, though. I've met them, and they come in all sizes. They come in all sizes, man. Like, I don't think someone is truly lazy until they also don't bother to think. That's when someone's really lazy. Like I said, I've met them. They exist. They're real, but they're not normal. They're not normal. Like, you all know who they are. When you meet one, you really know it. You're like, whoa, that guy's just fucking lazy. Yeah, well, that's actually GL Knight, that touches on another thing, which is people who are overweight are also more prone to building muscle. They are as prone to building muscle as the classic mesomorph. So when a big guy says, yeah, there's muscle underneath that they're probably not, there's a good chance they're not kidding. Because the problems that they face physically are not because of lack of muscle force. It's because the additional weight is causing problems in their skeletal system. Herniated discs, not being able to stand properly because your thighs are too big. Stuff like that. It's not about, but the force that they can exert through their muscles is the same. It's the same as like, a really muscular looking dude. Yeah, you drop 200 pounds for 2-hour bike rides. Yeah. That's possible. Yeah, that's possible. That worked for you. Like that's the other thing. When it comes to like changing your habits, you got to do it in a way that works for you. Otherwise, it doesn't work. Sure, there's an amount of inertia that you have to get over, but it's got to be something that you like doing for its own sake. You know, that's why eating, cutting down on eating is so difficult. You know, because there's really no substitute for that. You know, unless you find like a diet you really like that is way lower in calories, you know? Flashman, oh, you've actually lost some weight, so now you're using wearable weights to keep up your leg strength. Yeah. I actually noticed that you've been losing weight over the last couple of years. You know? Yeah, it's noticeable. You know, good job. Keep it up. You know, you can, that's all real, you know? So I don't like it when people like get down on big people because it's like, no, man, like the body's fucking them. You know, body's working against them in that regard. You know, like can't get mad at someone for that. Stopped an 80 Subaru with broken brakes rolling downhill by myself. Oh yeah. 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 And that had to do with both your muscle and your just overall mass. Like if it 100, the weird thing is like a heavier person is more likely to be able to stop an object in motion. But the amount of damage that you take from a fall is directly related to your overall weight. It's why elephants can't jump. The amount of muscle force that they would have to exert against the ground in order to lift their entire mass can't do it. Can't do it. They're too big. You know, they're too big. The legs just can't exert that. Nothing's legs can exert that much force. You know, that most days I got to do it 1 hour because of real life. Yeah. But I mean, like 1 hour is still really good. 1 hour is still good. It may not be what you want, but as long as you want it, you should be fine. Yeah, that's why also bugs don't take a lot of damage. They're too small. That's why babies bounce. They're really light. You know, it's one of the reasons cats don't take a lot of damage from falls. You know, there's other things for it. There's other things that a cat has that makes that even more so. But like overall, they don't take a lot. They won't take as much damage from a fall as a human would because they're only like 10 pounds. You know? You know, it's that's actually something that realistically I would love to figure out how to put into a role-playing game. The problem is it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter a role-playing game. You just say, no, you just take this much damage from this much distance, and that's simulation enough. You know? One of the things I am doing in the game when it comes to falling is that I'm trying to like come up with a very simple way for how fast something falls. A simple way to determine how fast something falls, because I'm sort of like, okay, I feel like under a certain distance, you pretty much fall and that's it. You know, it happens quickly enough that you're just like, oh, you know, nothing could have done nothing. Nobody could have done nothing. But like, if you're skydiving, it takes you many, many minutes to reach the ground. That's why it looks like they're flying. They are actually falling. But they're so many feet up, it just takes them that long. And the reason I kind of want to do something about that, do something with that, is that I'm like, now over a certain amount, it takes a turn. Like over a certain amount, it like takes turns for you to actually fall, giving you and people a chance to do something. You know, and so what I might do is what I might do is say that you take fall damage at the end of your next turn. And that a character falls like 100 feet per turn. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. I'll just say, like, yeah, you fall at a rate 100 feet per turn. Fatal. Fatal is the thing I absolutely do not want Babylon to be. Some people will compare it to that, and that's how I will know they are dickweeds. Yeah, and then I got to figure out, like, how much damage you take from a fall. I think it's going to be like 1 damage per 10 feet. Resisted by an agility roll. But you also have time, but it'll also give you time if you have an ability that, like, suddenly you could, if you can grow wings, you're just like, okay, all right. I have an action where I can just, fly. I just have to activate it, Hey, Sue Blanton. Scarring system sounds like ill bleed. Oh, actually, that's a good point. How fast does a body fall? If stable terminal velocity is about, how quickly do humans fall? Huh. What's the speed of a falling body? 4 10 seconds. Check it. Speed in miles per hour. Divide the distance covered by the time taken. What? Oh, wait. There's like a calculator. Hold on. Distance in miles. All right. Let's see. Calculator. Divided by 0.5. Oh, God, I got to get a real calculator. Hold on. Mile in feet. Okay. 5280 divided by 0.5. Wait a minute. Okay, 0.5 equals 10,000. Wait a minute. I did that wrong. 5280 times 0.5. There we go. Okay, easier. 5280 divided by 2. That You know what? I'm just going to say 100p fee per turn. Does Babylon have little figurines? Oh, we're going to try to. We're going to try to. Evil dolls. I didn't put in evil dolls yet. Hold on, let me put that in. Evil doll. All right. How did I get inspired to make this game? This is a game that I have wanted to make for a very long time. I had the basic idea for it way back in the 90s. Because while I liked Vampire and the World of Darkness, it didn't do what I wanted. As a game master, I could bring the elements I wanted into the fore, which is why I tended to game master more than I played. But I had always wanted a game that involved different types of monsters, where you played monsters of different types, and it was actually a little sexier, a little gorier. Because one of the problems that I had with Vampire the Masquerade is it could get way too clean. You know, it could get way too clean and neutered. And while obviously that wasn't a problem for that game, because it was a huge success. They were huge successes. Like everything up to Changeling the Dreaming could absolutely be considered a financial success. You know, they were also like the first game. They were also the first company to really get into merchandising. You know, to help kind of bring you in to that world. I wanted a heavy metal RPG. Not quite, but closer. Yeah, way closer to that feel. But it had been on the back burner because I couldn't figure out what the angle was that wasn't just, well, I'm just doing my own version of the World of Darkness, because that felt pointless. That felt pointless. Like, I would have to do all of this work, but everyone would essentially just revert to the World of Darkness. So why do it? But I had always had it in the back of my mind because I really like games like I really like games that have like a very, very, very diverse cast of what you can play. You know, so one of the reasons I kind of liked Shadowrun, I was actually of the opinion that that game actually should have pushed the alien nature of the metahumans like a little farther. You know, just push it a little farther. Because one of the ones that they could never quite get right were the elves. Now, mechanically, the elves were fine. They were perfect. But like as far as how they fit into the world it seemed really strange because they're described as these very beautiful people. And you're like, well, what kind of prejudice do beautiful people have? And they took that angle. Whereas I was like, wrong. The stereotype of the elves needs to be good looking, but not human. Like they are still not considered human, and human is still considered normal, the normal. You know, do it like that. You're not allowed to go over a certain level in status in human society because you are an elf. And an elf is not a human. An elf is not a person. They are at best an object. Yeah. Yeah, like have them at best be objects. One of the problems that I do have, because I've thought about like redoing Shadowrun 2, was to how do you redo dwarves? How do you redo dwarves that kind of disconnects them slightly from their Tolkien roots while still maintaining things that people like about them? Let's see. Sounds like the elves of Lorwyn, Shorta off minds, the cyberpunk hyper beauty focus. Well, you can make. Well, here's the thing. Like, I don't mind hillbilly dwarves, but like in Shadowrun, you kind of have to prepare them. You have to prepare each of the metahuman races to be able to move beyond the stereotype. You know, you have to make them beyond the stereotype, and they did do the hillbilly dwarves and stuff like that, but like how do you make them cool and sexy in a world where they're just integrated with humans? And one of the ideas I had was to make them a little bit closer to halflings. You know, like they're small, but they still like that to make them look like a little more like halflings or have dwarves that look more like halflings, but they're still very strong. You know, like have that be the big thing. Like they're either really strong or really tough. And I tend towards really strong because you already have the trolls who are very tough. What's my favorite enemy in the game so far? The Child Flare. The Child Flare is a monster in the setting of Babylon that is my favorite. Because it's the one that consistently got under people's skin and freaked them out. It is a spider-like creature from a dimension known as the Flip Side. And once it is attracted to the distress of children, and once it finds a way in, it creates a lair based on what it thinks children would be attracted to. It's spider-like. And when it lures the children in, it takes their skin off. And uses it to create puppets. Which it controls through strands of webbing that is difficult to see. That's my favorite. That's my favorite enemy in Babylon. That's some fairy tale like shit. Oh, I hope so. But yeah, it's my favorite. Yeah, big bag. Yeah, see? Big bag of nope. Get the flamethrower. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly the fucking reaction. You know, like a lot of it was inspired by a lot of it, some of it was inspired by the video for the Skrillex song First of the Year. Which is not, the thing depicted in the video is not the same monster, but it was inspired by the video. Yeah, I'm gonna go refill my coffee, and I'll play the video for you. We'll risk that. Oh, of course, I gotta make sure you can see the whole thing. Isn't that cool? Yeah, another thing that it was inspired by was The Other Mother.
So, you're back. And you brought Vermin with you?
No. I brought a friend.
You know I love you.
You have a very funny way of showing it.
So, where are they? The ghost eyes.
Hold on. We aren't finished yet, are we?
No, I suppose not. After all, you still need to find your old parents, don't you? Too bad you won't have this.
Be clever, miss. Even if you win, she'll never let you go.
I already know where you've hidden them.
Well, produce them.
They're behind that door.
Oh, they are they?
Mom, Dad. Go on. Open it. They'll be there, all right.
You're wrong, Coraline. They aren't there. Now, you're going to stay here forever.
No, I'm not.
You horrible cheating girl!
Yeah, The Other Mother was the other inspiration. I also took a lot of inspiration from Coraline for the Cats of Babylon. Because one of the things about the setting is that a lot of animals actually do have supernatural abilities, but humans don't know it. They have weird things about them. And one of the things about cats is they can use any magical they can open any magical portal at any time for any reason. Whereas other people need rituals or knowledge or a secret word, it will simply open for the cat. That is, of course, on top of being That is, of course, on top of being able to see the supernatural in general. A cat always knows if something is supernatural, but it won't necessarily tell you. Because it's a cat. A dog can also sense the supernatural and can always identify a vampire or a werewolf. But no one listens to a dog. Same thing with rats. Rats always know, but no one listens to them. You have to be able to speak with them to learn that shit. Cats have seen some shit. And the other one, the crows. The crows and the ravens. They know everything. But once again, you have to be able to talk with them to get that information. So if you want to talk to a dog, it behooves you to bring a werewolf along. Because a werewolf can understand what a canine says and can talk back to them. Snakes also know a lot. But you have to be able to speak to reptiles. So do they know that Cinnamon Toast Crunch has a taste you can see? Yeah, absolutely they do. That's why they're always trying to eat human food. Cats can be very helpful, if you treat them well. Hey, Jack, will we have any lesser-known mythological creatures in Babylon? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. If we're able to get that far, we will. Like, for example, one of the kin that we're going to put in the book, if we hit a big enough stretch goal, are the Bast. Cat people. And then the Hydes, as in Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And we eventually also want to put in the Frankensteins. The Black-Eyed Children, not sure. Are there any kitsune or yokai running around? Yes. Yes, there are. One of the ones that we're trying to make for player use is the Slipmouth Woman. Also, the sirens. Sirens and Murrows. The siren being, no, the mermaid with the voice. The Murrow being your creature from the Black Lagoon. One of the benefits of putting the main setting in LA is that LA is a coastal town. Most big cities are by coasts. So what you got is a built-in way for marine monsters to become involved. You think I'll release a few light novels? I don't write light novels, so I wouldn't be opposed to it. How do you always have a relative monster myth? Because there's a monster myth related to everything. Well, I think the way the Frankenstein would be built is that you would have a bunch of things that you could take because that are a little specialized for them. Yeah, I'd love to make a book of short stories that go with the setting. As far as changelings are concerned, we're going in a different direction with it. Banshee, we haven't decided on. But changeling, we're going in a very different direction. There are two main myths that we're going to be dealing with. The Haldra and the Fetch. Because they have a very weird take on the Fae. Oh yeah, they're going to be yokai. Yeah, a lot of them will be detailed in a later, go into deeper detail in a later book, but they're there. Would there be any infamous people in your game? They'll be mentioned, but most infamous people are going to remain human. You know, the most occasionally there will be one of that, oh no, they were not human. But that's going to be reserved for like the really funky guys like Dracula or Rasputin, you know. Yeah, the way we're doing the 8-foot tall woman is for one, that tends to be the only thing about her. So if you just want to be an 8-foot tall monster, you pick a monster type, and there's a trait called Big Mofo or Big Mofo / Mama. And it's like, nah, you're just freakishly big. Bigfoot does not exist in Babylon. There is no Bigfoot. There is no Sasquatch. Things that people think are Bigfoot are either figments of their imagination or misidentified werewolves. In Babylon, a zombie is someone whose soul a magician has taken. If you want Night of the Living Dead stuff, those are the ghouls. But they don't just make others like them. They don't just make other ghouls with every bite. That would get ridiculous. The ghouls go from relatively human-looking to absolutely hideous and monstrous. So, like, yeah, there are voodoo zombies. Actually, there is Mothman. There is Mothman. There might be Yeti. We're not sure. Like, that's probably not something that we're going to be going into anytime quickly, like those type of environments. We do have a potential spin-off game set in the same universe. But even that doesn't deal with, like, you know, the Himalayas or anything like that. Like, we're thinking of a spin-off. Yeah, like, if this, one of the other ideas for a game set in the same universe, but is not super likely to intersect in a big way, is a project that we're currently calling Backcountry. Where you are a monster hidden among the park rangers. Yeah, Mothman in this game is basically a roughly human-sized moth. It has hypnotic powers, but it doesn't actually predict the future. Because that's a little odd. It won't warn you of an earthquake or a train wreck. Because I need the thing to make some sort of sense, and the Mothman myth is just fucking all over the place. They may have, like, slight fate-changing abilities, but not, like... like, the actual myth of Mothman is stupid. It's like, he's a moth, and he warns you of impending danger. What? That doesn't make any sense. Why would he do that? Oh, because he's really an angel. Now you're just making shit up, you know? Like, come on. That's ridiculous. Because what really people like about Mothman is the idea of, like, a big, fuzzy moth that hangs around you like Mothra hangs around Godzilla, you know? You know, but I guarantee it's not the predicting the future bit and all that crap and UFOs. It's the idea of a big moth is kind of adorable in a frightening way. You know, like, let's see, this is a little Mothman animation, and I'm like, this is I think what people are like really like. Oh, he's sad. He doesn't know what to do. Poor guy. There's another animation about Mothman. So far, he's a little more like Owl Man. He's your Aww. Uh,
Hey guys, so you may remember my hickory horn devils, these big monsters that I've been raising all summer. And this one had it closed already. These are the regal or royal walnut moths. It is the head.
Yeah, you want it to be like that, you know?
The abdomen is gigantic. They are super gorgeous. Really beautiful. And not really sure why it hatched already. I expected to overwinter them. But I can see we have a bunch more coming. And they are real monsters. If you look up close here, you can see the color change. You can start to see the colors through the shell, which is kind of how you know it's time. So I took them out of their container, and I have them in a flight cage where they can climb up and expand their wings. So when they are ready to come out, they can shape themselves up fine. Fortunately, this little lady managed to open her wings inside of a bucket.
Whoops. Hold on.
Whoa, that's ugly.
Wait, why are all cryptids queer icons? Wait a minute.
Hi there, I'm a gay person, and as a gay person, I sure do love Mothman. Since I'm a walking beacon of queer energy, I welcome Mothman into my home and into my heart. I have posters, patches, plushies, buttons, leggings, everything a proper Mothman fanatic could possibly hope for. Now that you've seen my Mothman regalia, I know there's probably one burning question on your mind. Why Mothman? Why are gay people so obsessed with Mothman? In fact, the LGBTQ+ community as a whole seems to be obsessed with all cryptids, and Mothman is just one of the many examples of our community's hyperfixation.
I did not know that Mothman had any sort of connection with queerness. Let us continue.
But did anyone ever wonder why? Did we ever have to ask ourselves what was so alluring about these strange, anomalous creatures? Why were we so passionate about expressing our love for cryptids and identifying with the unknown?
Okay, I have a theory before we get on to this person. I have a theory. Thomas J. Mothman, cryptid attorney. Thomas J. Mothman, Mothman attorney. Thomas J. Mothman, attorney at law. Cryptid law, you know? I feel like that cartoon, like, Mothman should never speak. He should just make noises. You know, and everyone's just reacting to him like he's making sense. I think because of all of the feelings of otherness that you have as a queer person, I think lends itself to sympathy and empathy with things that could also be misunderstood. I think that's why cryptids.
Wonder no longer, my fellow queers. Today I'm going to figure it out. Hopefully, an attempt will be made, but I don't have a doctorate in cryptozoology yet, so I make no promises. Also, if you want me to talk about Tumblr sexy man stuff, I suggest you stick around for a while, because that may or may...
You know what I would have said? You could totally trust me, for I have a PhD in cryptozoology, but it's obviously like written in drawn in crayon.
May not be my...
From these fine universities. University of Mud Patch, you know? Totally real university, not a fake university.
Next video essay. To begin our investigation, we must go back in the same direction that my most two recent video essays have. We need to go back to where everything first began. Guys, gals, and non-binary pals, welcome to the world of cryptozoology. This video is about to get weird. Cryptozoology is a pseudoscience and subculture that searches for and studies unknown, legendary, or extinct animals whose present existence is disputed, particularly by those in folklore, such as Bigfoot or the Loch Ness Monster. Cryptozoologists refer to these entities as cryptids, a term coined by the subculture. Because it does not follow the scientific method, cryptozoology is considered a pseudoscience by mainstream science. It is neither a branch of zoology nor of folklore studies. Additionally, cryptozoology has been noted to have a lot in common with other pseudosciences of a similar niche, such as ufology and ghost hunting subcultures. As a field, cryptozoology originated in the 1950s from the works of Bernard Heuvelmans, a Belgian zoologist, and Ivan T. Sanderson, a Scottish zoologist. I would like to formally apologize to these two dead guys for butchering their names, along with any other names that will be mentioned in this video. In 1955, Heuvelmans published On the Track of Unknown Animals, a landmark work in the field that was followed by countless other similar pieces of writing, all trying to decipher the mysteries of creatures that had only been heard of in rumors or stories. Not too long after, Sanderson created his own series of books that helped develop many hallmarks of cryptozoology, including Abominable Snowmen, Legends Come to Life, which was published in 1961. The term cryptozoology itself actually dates back from 1959 or before, and Hüvelmann's claim that it was coined by Sanderson. It was derived from ancient Greece's words for hidden secret, animal, and study, all being fused together in a badass term. About 24 years later, the term cryptid was coined in 1983 by a cryptozoologist named J.E. Wall in the summer issue of the International Society of Cryptozoology newsletter. It had been suggested to Wall to replace the more sensationalized terms like monster, since they were often considered to be very misleading in the field's work. The word cryptid instead simply refers to a living thing with the quality of being hidden or unknown, which perfectly describes creatures that may be studied by cryptozoologists. There is a pretty big key difference between biology and cryptozoology, if you haven't already guessed from the basic concepts they focus on. While biologists regularly identify new species, cryptozoologists often focus on creatures from folklore. There really isn't any mainstream or official method of pursuing cryptids, but there have been many attempts to codify the study. Cryptozoologists may use devices like motion-activated cameras, night vision equipment, and audio recording software to search for
and other
creatures
horse
they're
shit.
studying.
I'm way more of a folklorist when it comes to this kind of thing. I'm very interested in the myths and the myths and the developing myths around these things. You know, that kind of explains why there are some cryptids I think are absolutely stupid. For example, Sasquatch. Why don't I like Sasquatch? It's not that I don't like the idea of like a missing link furry humanoid out in the middle of the woods. It's a bunch of the other dumb shit that gets placed on top of it. What? You know, nothing will make you hate on Sasquatch more than squatchers, who are the cryptozoologists who specifically deal with Bigfoot. Because holy shit. Holy crap. The only thing more fucking ridiculous than a Sasquatch sighting is a UFO sighting. And once again, I don't just mean, when I say UFO, I don't mean just the unidentified flying object thing. Like, yeah, sure. There are unidentified flying objects. Cool. What I'm talking about is people that are really into aliens existing. Not the idea of an alien existing, but like they believe. And I'm like, motherfucker, like, a secret government organization where they performed autopsies on a couple of aliens that accidentally crash landed on Earth is one thing. Okay? That's one thing. But the alien abduction stories are ridiculous. Like, we all know the anal probing stuff, right? Okay, what's the point of that? Okay, maybe they're putting tracking devices on people. Okay. But that's just the tip of the goddamn iceberg. Like, they go into some weird fucking areas with that shit to the point where you're like, that doesn't pass a smell test. You know, I'm willing to deal with things in the world of plausible deniability. But then there is some shit that I'm just like, okay, that's clearly not real. Crop circles. Crop circles. I find okay, crop circles are fake. They are fake. They are made by people. They are made by people. They are made by people in the hours just before dawn. The way you make them is very simple. It uses a big plank of wood and a rope. Because it's in those hours where the morning dew reaches to the stem of the crop and makes it pliable. The crop circle was not planned well. It was started by two guys who wanted to fake a UFO landing as a prank. But smart people figured out how they did it. And so started making their own. Because they're like, wait a minute. I know how they did this. Because they're done in areas that have, crops. You can't have crop circles without crops. And people who live around crops know a lot about them. They're out there in the fields during those periods of time sometimes. And they're like, oh, yeah. Yeah, you kind of can just do that in those hours. You can just push over the stalks without breaking them. And it kind of helps them like weave together a little bit, that creates the impression. Yeah, it's totally teenagers pranking old man Jenkins. It's not always teenagers. Sometimes it's adults. Like the first guys who did the first crop circle who fucking like admitted it, like they were already in their like 50s. They just really wanted to fake a UFO because this one farmer that they knew absolutely fucking believed in them. He believed in UFOs and they were like, let's fake a UFO landing and see what happens. And ta-da, a legend was born. I find that fascinating. That is what I find fascinating. Yeah, crop circles are way more of an art form at this point.
Few cryptozoologists have formal science education, which is why people like Professor Roy Mackal are praised so much by the community, since he actually has a legitimate doctorate in biology. By the end of this video, I want to obtain a doctorate in cryptozoology. I'll hang it on my wall like a trophy. Historically, notable cryptozoologists have often identified instances featuring irrefutable evidence, only for the evidence to later be revealed as the product of a hoax. This may occur during a closer examination by experts or upon confession of the hoaxer. This is nonsense, because as someone who lives with a haunted clown doll, ghosts are real, can confirm. Right, Bobo? Bobo agrees. Bobo is my haunted clown doll, by the way. I used him as a prop for my set in the last video essay I posted, and some people left comments about him and how cute he was. Bobo has been recorded to move around the dorm on his own on, multiple occasions, so either all of my roommates are fucking with me or that clown is haunted. I choose to believe the latter because Bobo is a queer ally. He has a pride pin and everything. We love him. We stan Bobo in this household. So now that I've bored my entire audience with a historical lecture about the foundations of cryptozoology as a pseudoscience, let's get to the point of this video. Why are gay people so obsessed with cryptids? Well, to understand that, we now have to consider how the queer community
Yeah, crop
has
circles
been
are like,
throughout history.
they're
That's
rural
right,
tagging
everyone.
is what
It's
they
time
are.
to talk about everybody's least favorite straight person superiority complex.
Because, I mean, think about it. Think about it. You don't see people make tags either, usually. It just appears. It just appears. Graffiti just appears as far as you're concerned. You know a person did it, so you don't think about it. But how often have you actually seen graffiti be made in front of your eyes? Unless you're a person who does it. Same thing. It's just that that lack of seeing it made took on a more mythical significance for some people when it came to the crop circles, because apparently white people don't fuck with other people like that, I guess. I don't know.
Phobia. Wow.
Oh, homophobic dog? What's up with this?
The first widely used term, homosexual, has often carried a negative connotation in the United States. This term is now primarily used in a scientific context, but the negative stigma was carried over to the more simplified term, gay, which was popularized in the 1970s. As lesbians began to form public identities, the phrases gay and lesbian became much more common. A major political goal of the queer communities at the time, especially lesbian feminists, was to obtain equality with the rights of society's greatest beast, straight white men. For legal purposes, that was a joke, so please don't maul me. Because that would be a hate crime. That was also a joke, guys, please. In the late 1970s and the early 1980s, after the rise of change following group action in the 1969 Stonewall riots of New York City, some gays and lesbians became less accepting of bisexual or transgender people. Critics, if you can even call them that, said that transgender people were acting out stereotypes and bisexuals were simply gay men or lesbian women who were afraid to come out and be honest about their identity. What a bunch of fucking idiots! Because of this, each community has struggled to develop its own identity, including whether, and how, to align with other gender and sexuality-based communities, at times excluding other subgroups. This is a conflict that has, unfortunately, continued to this day. LGBTQ activists and artists have created posters to raise consciousness about this.
Yeah, it was especially virulent in the lesbian community, unfortunately. Oof.
Issues.
What I'm saying is the idea of the turf does not come from nowhere.
Since the movement began. From about 1988, activists began to use the initialism LGBT in the United States. Not until the 1990s within the movement did gay, lesbian, bisexual, and transgender people gain equal respect. This spurred some organizations to adopt new names, such as the GLBT Historical Society.
Yeah. Like the original idea of woke was literally like, don't fall asleep in some places. Stay woke. It was much more literal.
Did in 1999. Although the LGBT community has seen much controversy regarding universal acceptance of different member groups, the term LGBT has been a positive symbol of inclusion. In 2016, GLAAD's Media Reference Guide states that LGBTQ is the preferred initialism, being more inclusive to younger members of the communities who embrace queer as a self-descriptor. However, some people consider queer to be a derogatory term originating in hate speech and rejected, especially older members and parts of the community. I am not one of these people because
so
I
is
am a
gay,
walking
so
pride
whatever.
flag. I'm non-binary, pan-romantic, and currently in a poly relationship with my 2 favorite people on the planet. That's as queer as you can get. Throughout the 20th century, it was frowned upon to be gay. A cultural and moral fear of queerness was established at this time, and people were afraid of the gay agenda infecting their youth or corrupting society. In fact, pop culture would frequently villainize the stereotypes and eccentricities often associated with the queer community. Ever notice how nearly all Disney villains were so catty and openly flamboyant in comparison to the straight, grounded heroes? In
Yeah,
recent
which is
years,
why we
the
don't remember them that
LGBTQ+
well.
community has reclaimed
heroes,
these
that
characters
is.
as queer icons and fell in love with their relatability. After all, who doesn't love Disney villains? They're usually the best part of the movie they're in. Wait a second. Let's revisit what I just said. The LGBTQ+ community reclaimed Disney villains as queer icons. We love how relatable they are, even if that relatability is purely based on surface-level traits such as flamboyant personality quirks or sarcastic, snippy comments towards the heroes. Does that sound familiar to you? Exactly. We've cracked the code. The queer community often finds comfort in characters that they can personally identify with, especially since proper representation in mainstream media had been so poor up until recent years. The Owl House is literally carrying the entire LGBTQ+ community in TV animation right now. I swear to fuck.
Yeah,
But
not
before
wrong.
we had cartoons like the Owl House, we had basically nothing. There was nothing we could latch onto. In fact, people would often headcanon existing characters in fiction to be gay or genderqueer. This was because queer people enjoyed relating to someone in their favorite media, and would often see themselves in the character's personality traits or quirks. For instance, what if your comfort character is Rarity from My Little Pony, because you relate to her dramatic outbursts, connect to the fact that she's a frequently misunderstood artist, and enjoy seeing how such a strong, confident woman embraces her femininity? Ta-da! You can say that she's a trans woman just like you. She knows what she likes and is never ashamed of herself or her ideas. The MLP community specifically is notorious for queer ships and headcanons amongst fans, some of which were actually so popular that they became canon in the official cartoon. But that is nothing in comparison to the fandom that has amassed around cryptids in the recent years. Cryptids are different because they aren't from an existing piece of media. They're from widespread folklore and urban legends. The stories of cryptids are much more easily accessible than any TV show or book series, especially since most people are already familiar with a lot of popular cryptid characters. You've probably heard about some of these stories since you were a kid, such as Bigfoot or the Loch Ness Monster. So, take a group of people who are often insecure about their identities and have a long history of being rejected by society's social norms. Give them stories about fantastical creatures that are too strange for science to comprehend or even prove the existence of, and place them alone together in a world where the internet exists. It was only a matter of time before the queer community paraded these cryptids around as our new comfort characters and mascots. It's easy for us to connect with the strange and unknown because, well, that's how we felt growing up. Gay people were often outcasted or ridiculed by their peers, especially in times of their life when they really needed support and security. Where were we supposed to turn if we wanted to feel accepted and understood? I was a kid when I first began to question my identity, and there was no fictional media that I could consume for comfort. By the way, for this next segment, I'm going to be staring off into the distance for 2 reasons. One, I would like to read my teleprompter because this script is insanely long and this is the lengthiest live action segment in this video. And 2, I don't want to make direct eye contact with the audience while I talk about my dramatic backstory, so I'm going to look right here. This is the focus for the next 3 to 4 minutes. When I was younger, I was bullied a lot. Part of the bullying was because I gushed about dorky stuff like cartoons and video games, but a lot of it was just because I wasn't straight. To everyone else around me, that didn't mean that I was gay or genderqueer. It just meant that I wasn't normal.
Oh, wait, whoa. What do you mean? Gay coded the newer Pee Wee? Oh, no. No, Pee Wee Herman was always that. Pee Wee Herman was always that. they just let it be a thing. They finally let it be a thing in a movie. But like Pee-wee's gay codedness was always there in big amounts on purpose. On purpose. You know, it's that he's still coded, but they allowed the queerness around Pee Wee Herman to be much more blatant. Just by having the central emotional beat of the movie be Pee Wee Herman and another guy. But if you saw the old Pee Wee Herman stage shows and things like that, like, no, that's always been there. It's always been there. It's just that, you know, finally it was in a format that everyone could see.
My life, I didn't know what I was supposed to be. I used to think I was a girl because that was all I'd ever known, but it began to feel wrong somehow. I wanted to do the things my brother was doing with his friends. I wanted to dress like my dad. I didn't find any feminine norms appealing, but whenever I'd try to do something else, I was told that I couldn't. So, then I thought I was a boy. Natural progression, I guess. At first, this was a much better fit, but I quickly learned that I didn't like this gender identity either. I struggled with this for many years, just desperate for anyone to understand how alone and confused I felt. When I looked in the mirror, I didn't see a girl or a boy, I just saw me. And I didn't understand what me was supposed to be. For the first time in my life, I truly felt like the edgy teenager that everyone said I acted like. It was beautiful. It got worse when I began to find that I liked girls. And not just as friends, I liked girls. I wanted to date girls. I wanted to date boys, and I even wanted to date people who didn't fit into either of those two categories. In high school, I lost my entire friend group. The people I'd hung out with since middle school and grade school in my sophomore year.
Yep.
I was waiting for my turn to audition for the school's production of Phantom of the Opera when I found out. I got a text from this girl, someone I'd considered to be one of my best friends for years, and in that text, she told me that she hadn't been honest with me for a while. She didn't want to be friends with me, and I would later find out it was because she wanted to be normal, and she couldn't be normal if she was friends with me. I was fucking heartbroken. I cried in the rehearsal rooms, and after my audition, I cried out in the hallway by myself. When I came to school the
that
next day,
sucks.
that girl wasn't the only one avoiding me. All of my friends were. As if they all decided that I couldn't be a part of their group anymore, because she said so. I could hear people talking about me in class, and some of the stuff they said was fucking terrible. Now after all of that, I know what you're probably thinking. Rainbot, what the fuck does any of this have to do with Mothman? And my response is...
Everything's stupid.
Shut the fuck up, kids. We're gonna get to that after my dramatic backstory. Now allow me to go back to staring awkwardly off screen because I'm an expert filmmaker. Yes, I am. Anyway, things got better after that.
The
I made
two
new
frogs
friends,
and
joined new
slide
social circles, and I even had my very own high school crush. I dated people before, both guys and girls, but this was the first time it felt different. I was serious. I really liked her. And she really liked me too. We were in the school musical together in our senior year, and she even went to prom with me. As an added bonus, this was the first time I was finally able to wear a tuxedo to a school dance because my parents had become more accepting of the fact that I was non-binary over the last few years, like once I figured it out. It was the most banger outfit that I have ever worn. And I might show you some pictures if I'm feeling generous enough. All jokes aside, prom was nice. The two of us were overwhelmed by the chaos
I did not
of the
go to
main
my
dance
prom.
floor, so we went off alone for our own little private waltz. We didn't know what music to play, so we played Owl City songs on her smartphone and did a poorly improvised slow dance in the empty room of the building our prom was being hosted at. And then, after all of that, she decided that she wanted us to try to start dating. And what happened next? The 3 million churches in my hometown shot me 27 times in the chest and told me I was going to hell. Very fun.
Okay.
Seriously, I was bullied and harassed for the rest of the school year. Sometimes even by my own friends. People told me that I was temptation to sin and would rant about how I was going to hell because my mere existence was wrong. Now, just to clarify, I'm not here to make some grand stance on religion or politics because I honestly don't care what anyone's beliefs are. I just lectured you about the history of a
I do, on the other hand.
science that is related to ghost hunting. Do you really think I care what you believe in? Because the answer is no. I literally don't care.
Comet, I love you.
That being said, I felt like an outcast, just like I had so many years growing up. My friend wasn't even allowed to talk to me anymore because her parents thought I was a spawn of hellfire or something. People would tell me that I should change my ways, acting like I was some sort of monster. And I wasn't alone. Countless other people in the LGBTQ+ community also felt like they were being treated as monsters by their straight peers. So if they wanted to see monsters, that's exactly what the queer community was going to give them. Instead of trying to seek comfort from schools or institutions of any kind, both of which had already failed to help us, we instead turned to our countercultural roots. After all, the queer community does have a history of defying social norms. You want to treat us like we're monsters? We'll show you monsters. We'll even parade them around in the streets with pride flags and rainbow glitter. The whole shebang. There's actually a BuzzFeed article about this topic that gave me ideas for this video, written by John Paul Brammer, and it was really neat to read about another gay person's perspective on the matter. In the article, Brammer explains how watching a video about Mothman's prophecy had sent him down a rabbit hole of watching other spooky videos online. And I know for a fact that this is an experience shared by many others around the world. It's pretty common for people in the queer community to be fascinated by the horror genre or monsters of any kind, and it seems like this was the result of many shared experiences growing up online. To better explain what I mean, allow me to quote Brammer's article, because he expresses it in words a lot better than I could. I understand why so many gay men see themselves in pop divas. It's a sentiment I share myself. We have, after all, been historically shamed for expressing vulnerability, femininity, and sexuality. The fever dream of tapping into those things and drawing power from them is intoxicating. It's what keeps us invested in our queens through their highs and lows, and what compels us to overspend on their exorbitantly priced merch. They present a power trip that we can easily access. They are us, victorious. Pop stars sell us a fantasy of triumph, but so do monsters. It's just that the concept of victory, what it looks like and how it's defined, is a little bit different.
Yep.
Queer people, finally fed up with being called villains, decide to reclaim cryptids as their own. It's a delicious subversion of the rhetoric that has historically been used against us. A reclamation, a reappropriation, a hijacking. Sure, there are plenty of gay and queer people who bristle at the prospect of being compared to monsters. I understand where they're coming from on that front. There's a long and troubling history of queer people being demonized by mainstream society. More than that, queer people have been long portrayed exclusively as villains in the media, in addition to being villainized in real life. It wasn't until recently that LGBT representation in film and television has grown more varied and positive. Not everyone is willing to embrace or subvert the evil queer trope. The great tradition of queer people simultaneously mocking and seeking themselves out in mainstream culture won't die anytime soon. Many have found themselves looking to pop stars or fictional characters in movies or TV shows to find empowerment and strength. I have one such figure as well. Mine just happens to be a little taller than yours. With all of that out in the open, I think it's about time we reach some sort of conclusion. What conclusion, you may ask? I don't know. I have no idea. But it's really funny to watch straight people get mad when we all collectively claim that Mothman is real and he's our boyfriend. That shit's awesome. So, why not do it? Okay, but really, a conclusion. The queer community takes pride in using cryptids as mascots because it acts as a middle finger to what society had always claimed we were. You want monsters? Here they are. We drew them wearing sunglasses and doing kickflips because we don't care how you think we should live. When we feel like outcasts, it's nice to seek comfort in other creatures who are just as outcasted as we are, and it's empowering for us to live vicariously through these stories. Sure, a monster striking horror in the hearts of a town may not seem like a victory, but it's the power they hold that draws us in. Much like the pop singers and divas of mainstream culture, cryptids display a sensationalized beacon of power and independence. It's just done in a much more edgy fashion, which perfectly suits the queer community's tendency.
It's an 8-bit version of
for the horror genre and geeky science fiction stuff. So I think
Mariana Cross.
Two things. Firstly, I have earned this. I am now Dr. Rainbot, with my official doctorate of Homo civitas cryptozoology. I couldn't get a doctorate in normal cryptozoology because that requires paying a lot of money for online courses, and I already pay a fuck ton of money to attend an art school, so that wasn't gonna happen. This is my doctorate for the extremely niche subgenre pseudoscience that I invented while writing this video. Homo civitas cryptozoology, which is the study of cryptids in the context of the LGBTQ+ community. I had to Google search Latin words for this, so I'm really happy with it. Secondly, as the world's first person to get a doctorate in Homo civitas cryptozoology, I would like to propose that I do a mini-series of shorter videos about different cryptids. I think it would be neat to talk about stuff like the Flatwoods Monster or the Fresno Nightcrawler, which is probably my favorite cryptid, by the way. I have a little pin of him right there. He's running with rainbows, you just know he's gay. However, there's a catch. I would want the finale of this mini-series to be my giant Mothman retrospective, and I'm only making that video if we reach 100k subscribers by the end of 2022, so wish me luck, everyone, if you want to see that video. Guys, gals, and non-binary pals, I hope you enjoyed this little video of mine. If you liked it a lot, you should consider supporting me on Patreon so I can continue making my analog horror series called Welcome to Dreamworld. It's pretty cool, and the Patreon has a lot of great perks, so you should go check it out. Last but certainly not least, I would like to wish you all a fantastic evening. Good night, everyone.
Oh, that was cute. So I should mention Family Opera, so... Yeah, ghost cover of Phantom of the Opera by Iron Maiden. Really good. Yeah, it's a ghost cover of an Iron Maiden song. Yeah, I gotta be honest. I really think that, like, Phantom of the Opera should have been a rock opera. I mean, I'm just saying. Yeah, they did make Phantom of the Paradise, but no, I mean like straight up Phantom of the Opera. Also, Phantom of the Paradise is a musical, not an opera. Whoops. Yeah, Phantom of the Paradise is a bit more Faust than Phantom of the Opera. That is true. With Paul what's his name as like Dorian Gray. It's weird. Paul Williams. That's who I was thinking of. And yes, it was a De Palma film. Yeah. Yeah, little guy from Smokey and the Bandit. Yeah. All right. All right. Well, it's been 3 hours, so I think that's gonna be it for now. I'll see you all tomorrow on Twitch around 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you want to follow me there, it's count_Jackula. Appreciate seeing you. I want to thank everyone who donated. I want to thank George Version. I want to thank Thorgrim, for donating and getting us off to a good start for this month. I will see you tomorrow on Twitch, and until then, Ave Satanas, Disco Inferno. And remember, Satan and I love you all very much. And Satan is also a queer icon. And Joseph's cat says meow. Excellent.